The day before his death, the narrator begins his disturbing story by proclaiming that he is sane, despite the ludicrous narrative he's about to relate. It begins many years before when his personality was young and peaceful. He would explain his significant love for cats and dogs and the respect of the fidelity of friendship, unlike some humans. He married quite young and introduced his wife to the love of having domestic pets. For example, birds, goldfish, dog, rabbits, monkeys, all of which they owned. His favorite of them all was Pluto, his black cat, whom he trusted and loved the most.
Although he loved Pluto, the narrator began to suffer from excessive violence and mood swings caused by his heavy drinking. He began to abuse not only the animals, but also his wife, all except Pluto. One evening, as he got home, he viciously attacked the animals, this time even Pluto. As he grasped him, Pluto bit his hand. In retaliation, he pulled out a penknife from his pocket and stabbed one of the cat's eyes. When he woke the next morning, he immediately felt remorse. The cat wouldn't dare to get close to him. He wouldn't even look at his owner. Overwhelmed by the anger at the fear of the animal, the narrator decided to end it. He hung his cat from the limb of a tree.
That night, his house burned down, destroying all of his possessions. Only one wall remained standing. Behind it, a drawing of a gigantic cat with a rope around his neck was burned into it. He attempted to explain this coincidence, but he found himself haunted by what he refers to as phantasm. One night, after a few drinks, the narrator found a black cat that greatly resembled Pluto, but with a splash of white on his fur. As with the previous, he experienced great fondness for the mysterious cat. It quickly became part of the household, but the narrator couldn't resist following his violent pattern. Once he saw that the splash of white fur has taken the shape of the gallows, the structure on which he hung his previous cat Pluto, he decides to end that cat's life. He felt the need to take revenge on the new cat. One day, as he was going down to the cellar, he trips over the cat. Furious, he decided to grab an axe to kill it, but his wife defended the animal. Livid, he turns his rage on his wife and rammed the axe into her skull. In front of the evidence of his crime, he considered many options to hide the body, but he finally decided to hide it behind the plaster of the basement's damp walls. However, when he turned around, his cat was missing. It possibly ran away from its owner's anger, but regardless, it was gone. 4 days after the murder, the police arrived suddenly at his doorstep. Calmly and with an air of innocence, he led the police around his house and even down into the basement. With confidence to prove the sound structure of the building to the police, he tapped on the wall, behind which lay his wife's remains. In response, a long and loud cry came from behind the wall. When the police broke it down, they discovered the hidden body, and on its head sat the missing cat.